Let's get the conversation started.
You know,
Yeah,
and they're gonna test stuff out. We did. You know what I mean? I know. I'm gonna speak for me. I did. I did. I know. I test stuff out. You know.
yeah. No, Bishop, and this is really good conversation
Yeah.
because um I know we get a lot of the testing ourselves, but I love it though, brother, because iron sharpens iron. And
Exactly.
I was just talking to you earlier, man, the reason why you always said don't grow weary in well doing, for in due season
Yeah.
we
We.
we shall
We.
reap the harvest if we faint not. Cause
Yes.
cause cause brother, the challenges are gonna come, man,
Oh
especially
yeah.
with parenting, especially with
Oh yeah.
us being fathers, especially with us being leaders, though, Bishop.
Oh yes.
Um, I guess I never took all of that stuff into consideration, realizing the weight or the weightiness. But
Yes.
getting on your call yesterday, man, seeing how enthusiastic the team there in New York was, it just gave me fuel.
Yes.
Because we're winding down. In fact, you're part of the winding down.
Yes.
So we're winding down, and after the celebration, and it's events, and then it's preparing for our father-daughter summit, preparing for our block empower the block event, and it's like, when do we, as
Hmm.
as leaders, get the time to regroup, reset?
Hmm. Yes.
And I love how, because it's both of us,
Exactly.
we really get the tag team on this, man. So, but nonetheless, though, Bishop, when we talking about legacy, and this was a
Mm.
conversation you and I was having 2 weeks ago,
Yes.
brother. It's a lot because,
Hmm.
Bishop, I'm very intentional now because I understand the importance of it, which is, what happens in tradition.
Right.
Um, both our mothers have gone home to be with the Lord, right? So,
Listen.
you know, miss
Yeah.
them dearly.
Listen.
And Bishop, I found me calling out to my mom, in these conversations. I'm like, Ma, wow, I didn't think it would be this hard. What about this? What about that?
Right.
And it was great because I do that often, right? The same way how we talk to God. And,
Right.
and, and Bishop, what really resonated with me was the legacy, you know, that I choose to carry on. I still do things to make my mother proud.
Same here.
And she's no longer here,
Right.
right?
Right.
But I still do it to make her proud. And Bishop,
Yes.
that's something that I want my kids to carry.
Yes.
Continue to do things to
Yes.
honor the name. I remember you
Yeah.
telling me about the conversation with your son. You said, "Oh no, I'm a Maynard. Do it to
We don't
honor.
quit.
We don't quit. Do it
Yes.
to honor the name. Do it for the legacy of the name." And you know, so Bishop, I want to hear that, man, because then it's something else where you know we can't lower the standards
Yes.
of
Yeah.
what that looks like.
Exactly.
We can't get comfortable.
Right. But
Go
but at
ahead,
the
bro.
same time, there's this word fulfillment,
Okay.
and legacy is directly tied to fulfillment, and success. If you look at it the right way, it's the prefix to succession. In other
Mm.
words, um, there's a baton pass going on.
Oh yeah.
There's a
Oh yeah.
baton pass going on, and we're going to run hard and stay in our lane,
Oh yeah.
and we're going to give it all. But there's going to be a cue at some point when they see us huffing and puffing and coming with fatherhood momentum. We like to talk about fatherhood moments, but we're coming with fatherhood momentum,
That's right.
full steam ahead.
That's right.
Because all the stuff we put into this, the expectations, the sleepless nights from the time they were born, right? Even as they're adults, some of the things they go through keep us up at night. And you're running hard in your lane. If there's a point in a baton pass, where you make eye contact
Mm.
and they start moving out too.
Yeah.
Then you're not handing off to a still target; they're moving
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you have to catch up to them, but they have to also reach back.
Mm. Mm.
And
Come
it's
on.
in the reaching back that the handoff happens. You make sure that they have a firm grip of what you're handing to them, the baton, the victory, the success, the quality life, the good family, the, the great environment, the awesome conversations, love, the embrace, the reasonable but loving expectations, the blessing. And
That's
you're
right.
passing this on to them as they reach back. And you don't let go till they have it secured and they can run with it. Right. And and that is a picture of legacy. That is a picture of legacy. It's the baton pass. Um, that we say we run a race, but when we say we sometimes we're thinking about our generation. But the we includes, we were just talking about our mothers. I'm also going to add my father in there. But
Yeah.
they passed on not just our genes,
Yeah.
but our means, the way we process.
Yeah.
And we want to what's best. We come from out of ICP and Varice and Honorio always said, eat the meat and spit out the bones.
That's right.
And we have to process, ingest, and digest what was handed to us and take what's best and blessed and pass it forward. And legacy is that chain. The chain it's a chain of not of events, but chain of generations. And you want to lead and leave
Mm.
them with something that you're putting it. We like to say we're putting it in good hands, right? We
That's
want
right.
our children to have those good hands, so we help establish their grip,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and we want to show how we reach back, so they know how to reach back too. Because sometimes some of us gonna be in diapers twice, right?
Ah,
We change them,
yeah.
and hopefully they change us. But but
Yeah.
but, but I always say this, that the Most High put children in our life to change us,
That's right.
not in that sense, but to change us. And now our focus is with legacy. When you that becomes the lens, though, legacy becomes a lens that as the why am I doing this? Why am I taking all these meticulous steps that others don't see?
Mm.
Why am I investing in things that are not profitable to me right now? Because of appreciation, the concept of appreciation. See, a legacy has to be appreciated. And the 7 parts of appreciation. First is acknowledgement.
That's right.
It's not just me.
That's right.
Then it's gratitude, grace and gratitude. You're thankful. I'm so grateful for my kids. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that the Maynard name will go on, but beyond my dad Winston and myself and my brothers and what have you. Then comes adoration. There's a love. You adore your children. This is part of appreciation. Then you're aware, right? Awareness is appreciate what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
Appreciate where they're heading, what they have to deal with. What they have to deal with is a lot different than what we had to deal with. We come from an analog world.
That's right.
They're not only digital, they AI now.
Yeah.
So it's a different a world that they live in, and we have to appreciate that, have awareness. Yes, we want to hearken to the past and honor the past, and we do want to honor the future, right? The foresight and the hindsight,
Yeah.
but to have the insight that's part of the conversation that we have with the with our children. I love to hear their wisdom because they add that I I didn't see it that way, right? I have some artists, mainly Jeremiah and Autumn. I don't really have conversations with Autumn, but Jeremiah, some really deep grounded conversations. In Eden, so poignant, and so is Ellington, and I'm appreciating what they're adding in terms of what they're learning and their growth. Appreciate it, but see, that comes with the next one is affirming or esteeming them, all right, valuing them, and then from the esteem comes increase in value because you're investing in them, and then finally honor. And yes, we do honor our children. You
That's right.
see, honor, you know me in acronyms.
No, no, Bishop, I love it.
Honor is connected to health. HEALTH, having every area lived through honor, right? And they see you. We say the first learning style is observation.
That's right.
They're watching
Yeah.
how you honor your health, how you honor your spouse, your wife, how you honor your call, how you honor your physical health. Jeremiah say, no, you can't be having all that, or he can say, no, you can't. Make sure you eat right. and you honor your health, you honor your time. You make sure you spend time with them, quality time. You like to say quality time as though other times are not quality, but intentional, focus, special time for them and with them. Even if it's a ride, I kind of like when he says, Dad, even now, she's a little older. Dad, can you give me a ride, so and so? Yes, my answer is both topics. Yes, there's that conversation we get to have in the car. Even if she's quiet and we listen to music, it's still just that presence to be there. So yeah, health, man. The legacy, especially, is connected to health. What the health of the relationship, the health of the future, the health of the finances. Are we being good stewards with what we're receiving, and how are they operating with what they're receiving? And they learn. You have to allow them to have their lumps, make mistakes, but be there. Be available. When this you want to be that one there, the go-to for them. And so that's part of legacy, is because it's not just handing off the baton. Very often the person is jogging behind as that person runs their leg, and they're cheering them on, telling them, oh, oh, oh. And you don't know how much that little bit of go adds some stride length and some stride strength. And you really start digging in. Yeah, it's that baton pass, Al. It is that baton pass.
No, Bishop, listen, man, as you're saying all of this, I'm soaking it all in, right? And a lot of what we're discussing, a lot of it is personal.
Very.
So here's what I know, Bishop.
Yes.
And we talked about this before. So we can't blow up the bridge while we're still building.
Exactly.
So when you said the handing off of the baton,
yes,
beautiful, because Bishop, at some point, I start guessing and second guessing. Did I let the baton go? Do I still hold on to it?
Yeah.
Are we doing another lap? Because I want to make sure you get it.
Yes.
And here's why, Bishop. Me being a grandparent now, I can't choose my kid's mate, right?
Yes.
So here's the thing, right? You always say here, Further and Farther, right? Are you guys a mentoring agency? No, we don't mentor down. However, we do have the understanding that we will pour out into that next generation.
Yes.
Here's what I want to say to my young men and my young women.
Mm.
Do not get with another person that doesn't carry the same value, especially around family. Because
Yes.
Jay, what you described
Mhm.
about the awareness,
Mhm.
the love,
Mhm.
the input, the
Yes.
honor,
Yeah.
Bishop, if that's not there
Mhm.
and you get yoked with a person
Mhm.
that you carry that value, you're
Mhm.
struggling from the door.
Yes.
And then, Bishop, the value of family isn't easily transferred.
Mhm.
So I never thought that I would experience not being able to see my grandkids.
Wow.
What? But when
Wow.
you experience that, it's like,
Mhm.
man,
Mhm.
now I can relate to those other parents that had that challenge,
Yes.
right? And because it's personal,
Yes.
now you also know how to coach.
Yes.
You also have to be that, as we talked about, that velvet brick, right?
Yes.
I'm firm, but I'm fair. But Bishop,
Yes.
I'm not going to lower the standards.
No.
The
No.
standards are the standards because, Bishop,
Yes.
it took a lot of sacrifice to your point. No one
Yes.
knew how many sleepless nights
Yes.
to now have that flushed and discarded because we
Mm.
have to lower the standards. No, no.
No. No. No.
Listen, I'm still going to stand on these principles. I
Yes.
still want certain ways that I want my grandkids treated. Heck,
Right.
I'm dad. I want to make sure that my children are treated a certain level of respect in their personal relationships. So if
Yes.
you tell me, of course I'm gonna feel a way, and that's why my boy, our beloved Lawrence, man,
Yo, I miss
who's
him,
no
brother.
longer here,
Yeah.
he would always say to me when he knew it would be something that would get me going, he'll go, "Hey man, I gotta tell you something, but promise you won't get mad. Promise you won't get upset." But Bishop, how can you not, right?
Yeah.
Because Bishop, in parenting, what we say all the time,
Mhm.
the you have to finish what you start. The
Yes.
outcome of parenting is maturity. You
Mhm.
want to see the seeds. Even
Yes.
if you're not always the one that's going to water them, at least you're going to lay that foundation so that something
Yes.
beautiful can be built upon it. And
Yes.
Bishop, that's what I'm missing
Mhm.
when I'm seeing it not nurtured. So at least carry the baton.
Exactly. Exactly.
Don't
It-
drop the baton, but at
don't
least
drop it.
carry it.
Yes.
So I love how, even as we get to talk to a bunch of parents going through challenges, whether it's access to their kids or not access to visitation. We don't even say it's visitation because you're really
No.
not visiting. Is
No.
is quality parenting time. But,
Exactly.
but what I know though, Bishop, there are systems in place that
Mhm.
doesn't honor a lot of the strong families.
Mhm.
But we cannot make a conscious decision
Mhm.
to not be our child's biggest cheerleader
Right.
and greatest advocate.
Amen.
Let me say that again. We have to be their biggest cheerleader and
Mhm.
their greatest advocate.
Yes.
Because, Bishop, if not us, then who?
Amen. Amen. On point. And you know that whole scenario you talked about with grandchildren and not be able to see them, I've been through, and you talked about the whole child support thing,
Yeah,
and not being able to see your children. And sometimes the misconstrued animosity
yeah,
because of the lack of information, the lack of connection
yeah.
that happens. And I'm going to talk to a dad right now, and I know you hear me because you're being blocked, you're being shut out, you're being stiff armed, you're being wrestled to the ground,
Mm,
you're going through, and I want to tell you, don't give up. The audience that you're focused on is not your pain; it's on your child's future
come on.
and how they see you. They're watching you, even from a distance. And even if they're being blocked from watching you, keep a record and consistency in attempts to communicate.
Yeah.
Whether it be a blocked email, a blocked text, keep texting,
That's
keep
good.
emailing, and let them see the history at some point of you trying. And the word trying is deep
Mm,
because
mm,
trying comes from trial, right? So you're going through a tough judgment. Fathers, we get judged harshly. We don't get judged lightly. We're not given the benefit of the doubt. We're given the doubt, not the benefit of the doubt. And the only way to overcome the doubt is a direct opposite of doubt is faith.
mm.
The only way to overcome doubt is faith. You have to not only have it, but you have to apply it. In other words, be faithful with the little, the least, the little, and he'll bless you with the much. So the little opportunity that you get to leave something at their school for them,
Yeah.
even if you can't see them, the little opportunity where you get to give them a ride with their friends. Take every opportunity you can. Take every opportunity you can. Pastor Curtis trying to reach me, and I should turn off my volume. Take every opportunity to connect. Don't reject connection, even when you're hurting. Sometimes
Mm,
you hide the hurt from them, but they don't see the reality. Part of that observation is for them to see you in all. See, when a child's in the home, they see you in all states.
yeah. Yeah.
They see you in all phases of fatherhood. When you're not there and you only get them for chunks of time, let them see you. Let them see you in reality without harshness pointed to them. Or this is the hard part, without harshness pointed to the one who is hurting you. I'm not going to say who that is.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all know who that
That's
is.
right. That's right. That's right.
Yes. So um, let them see the balance because they'll grow in that same appreciation that you're trying to pass down as a baton. They're going to get the fullness of it, a more full picture. Of course, it's guarded transparency. You can't say everything,
Yeah.
and it's also age appropriate. That's a whole nother space you have to understand. That you have to take some of the hard things that need to be said and say them in a way, maybe in a story, maybe in a way that they can understand it to the degree that they're able to. But this the truth that makes you free. It's the truth that makes them free. But understand, sometimes the truth hurts, and the truth discriminates against everything false. But
Yeah.
ultimately, the truth is what makes you free. So operate in the truth in love, which means with patience and kindness, in love. Allow the process because they're not going to get it. You're going to see reflections of the worst parts of you and the worst parts of your spouse or significant other sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's just a call for reflection, repentance, correction, redirection. But also, it causes you to be humble in your judgment and realistic in your expectations because you know it took you a process for you to change. It's going to take a process for them to change as well. So, yeah, think legacy, walk legacy, talk legacy. Sometimes talk that mature talk to even when they're kids. I did that with my kids. What did their family look like when they were adults, even as kids, and listen to their little minds expound on those ideas. So that what it does is you've planted a seed that there's gonna be times when you get to play and there's time for school and all this stuff, but there'll be more time
Yeah.
at the end of that when you're going to be a husband or wife, a father, a mother, and then and some of us, grandfather and grandmother, right? And let them see that there's a process. Let them see the process. That yes, they're going to run in their lane. They're going to run with their baton, but no, it came from somewhere. Let them know where that baton came from, and they'll value it all the more. They'll grip it even tighter. They'll run even harder. So that's
No,
let
Bishop, you know, hey man, this is the language of further and father, man. You're speaking that blessing, right? You're
yeah,
talking about having them picture a special future, you know,
yes,
and I think being a little more detailed, like, yeah, what would you like your family to look like? You
yes,
know,
yes,
like to be honest, Bishop, I didn't know that there was so many beautiful homes. You know, so I wish, you know, I talk to my kids and my wife all the time. I wish, you know, early on someone had said, hey, you could live in a house like this, you just have to make this amount of money, you know. So
yes,
now there's a measure, there's an
yes,
expectation.
yes,
You know, I can picture the growth process and what it would take to do that. And
yes.
you know, but I love it though, Bishop, because when you were speaking, I thought of all the components of giving your child the blessing.
Mm,
And what does that look like? You
right.
know, that meaningful touch,
Mm-hmm.
picturing a special future, the active commitment. You know, how we've been very intentional to
Mm-hmm.
speak about those things. But I
Yeah,
think, Bishop, uh, for me,
yeah.
I've slowed things down
Mm-hmm.
to assure
Mm-hmm.
that those conversations are now had.
Yes.
And then with the passing of loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
what does that look like? You know, as far as succession
Yes.
or moving on without me.
Yes.
And Bishop, I love that every time you and I have these conversations, it
Mm-hmm.
just crystallizes. It really does. It crystallizes, you know, for us. And I was having a conversation with you earlier, man, that you know, you can't get tired.
No, no.
You
You
will get
can.
tired.
You
No,
will get
you
tired.
will get tired, but you
Yes.
can't tap out.
Right.
Right. And you build that support system to carry
Mm-hmm.
some of the weight. Many hands make light work. So yeah, carry some of the weight. But what I love though, Bishop, you always reminded me of the word.
Yes.
Don't grow weary in well doing.
Will do it. Yes.
For in due season, we
We shall reap
shall
if
reap.
we
We,
faint not.
if we
And
faint not.
and that means we hold each other up.
Yeah, yeah,
When we hold each other,
and Bishop,
yeah.
and Bishop, and that's what I love though, Bishop, because you know, I'm being more intentional to carve out time to just reflect, to sit, to
Mhm.
just relax, you know, but to also do the things that I love doing, man. I cracked open one of those puzzles, man. I'm
Oh.
like, man, you know, it was the one with the boy and the girl. You know,
Yeah.
I'm putting that together because I'm slowing down the mind. It
Mhm.
gives me that usah. That's
Yes.
my mental therapy. But I
Yes.
also love, though, Bishop, that
Mhm.
I don't discard or minimize
Right.
the call that we are championed to do.
Right.
And I get to do it with my brother. I get to do
Amen.
it with my best friend and
Yes, sir.
those that I love and they love us. So it's
Yes.
like, man, you know, yeah, we're gonna get tired
Hmm.
because you know, but
Yes.
like this morning when I woke up, I said to my wife, "What time is it?" She says, "Well," I said, "Well, I don't want to get out of bed until after 9." I
Right.
was intentional to allow my body 8 hours of rest. I
Yes.
wanted to make sure that you know my body's right because we can't take all these decisions and make all these great decisions with a tired mind. So I want
Exactly.
to make sure though, Bishop, that we're good
Yes.
and I love that. So brother, I
Mhm.
say all that to say, man, even in the trying times that we're in,
Yes.
the uncertain times.
Mhm.
I
Yes.
think that, you know, from the time the COVID, the pandemic hit to
Mm.
now, like the times is just as crazy. You know, it's just not a
Yes.
lot of people getting sick and ill, but our world is upside down. What's normal is not normal anymore,
Exactly.
and there's a lot of uncertainty. So
Mhm.
definitely, man, we got to check in with each other. We definitely
Yes.
have to take care of one another
Yes.
and it starts at home, Bishop. And
Hmm.
I'm not a big component of biting my lip, especially when things are off.
Right.
I want to
Right. Right.
say what need to be said.
Hmm.
My
Yeah.
my mom was big at that, man. My
Yeah.
mom, and Wendy laughed, her mother was too,
Yeah.
They're gonna say what they're gonna say. But if we could do it in love,
Yes.
right? That's that patience and kindness. If we could do it
Yes.
in love, but it
Yes.
still has to be said. We can't
It has to be
swipe it
said.
under the rug. We can't do the ostrich and
Yes.
throw our heads in the sand. We
Yes.
can't do those things, man. We have
Yes.
to speak it because that is what I would want, right?
Yes.
So Bishop, if I'm off,
Mhm.
hey, like you called me the other day, man. You said, hey, man, but wait, brother, you good?
Yeah. Exactly. How are
How are
you?
you? Yeah, I
Yes.
want to check in on you. And that's
Yeah.
why I love it, Bishop, when I can call you and say, hey, brother, I just wanted to say, man, thank you.
Love
you
you,
know,
man.
because brother, no one said it would be easy.
No, 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 no. With this whole parenting thing, even and it's funny you talk about. I was never one to quick to speak. Right?
Mm,
People even now from my childhood surprised that I'm too public speaking all this stuff because I was a quiet guy. I was always like Spock. I was the observant one. But even with my children, sometimes you have to understand their makeup and how to speak to them. Like
yeah,
there's certain things that I know my dove, my wife comes from, and the methodology and the way that things are addressed is different than the way I do it. But I do it instead of embarrassing, I make texts, right? I'll say the same thing so they can process it without having to look in my face and see any disappointment. There's a method because each one is different. Some of you have to say direct, and some you have to understand who you're talking to, which is part of the whole legacy. Is you have to know who you're handing stuff off to, right? Can they catch? If you throw somebody some, can they catch? You know what I
that's a
mean?
t-shirt, brother. That's a t-shirt. Can you catch?
Can you? I'm about to throw something. Can you catch it? Or do I have to hand it off? There's you have to understand to be very transparent. Um, my children in their 20s, so I know sexual activity is a reality. But I want them to be wise about how and what they do, and honor the Most High in what they do. So I convey that message without being overbearing. You know, I do want to hear them to hear the echo of the admonishment as they make decisions, but I don't want it to be a thing where they're doing it as a rebellion against what I'm saying, but as an encouragement. I'd rather be the angel on the shoulder than the devil on the shoulder. Put it that way.
Hey, Bishop, you know what I heard. You know what I heard one time, man,
Yeah,
and it really resonated with me. It said, "Love your kids to the point where, as they rebel, it hurts them."
yes, yes,
It's like, man, I ain't never think about that, man. That's a lot of love. But when you want to honor, but
Mhm.
because again, Bishop, you spoke about it. If that's the culture of the upbringing, the
Yes,
home, the togetherness,
yes,
it could also spin into where you know how it is. You sin, you get further away, you get pushed
yes,
away, you get
yes,
outcast.
yes.
You don't know how to come back and say,
Right,
"Oh man, I messed up." So
right,
I never want that either. But
right.
I want it so that, man, you know what? Yeah, let's do this and let's do it right. Respect yourself, right?
Yes,
Respect your decisions, respect God, respect the family.
yes,
And I think, Bishop, that's something that I struggle with because when that's your foundation,
yeah, yeah.
anything anything in opposition of that, you can't allow that.
Right, right. You
Like
become
I'm never gonna allow, I don't care who it is, to be around any of my kids talking crazy.
it becomes mutiny,
Yeah,
right? It becomes mutiny. You start fighting for another team. They become a double agent. Start fighting for another team, and bringing war to the house. You know what I mean?
yeah,
No, man.
man.
Oh man, you want them to be legacy minded and kingdom minded as well.
That's right.
And it's about planting seeds. You're not opening their mouth and shoving a bunch of seeds down their mouth. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Need
because
that.
you're gonna know what's gonna grow based on the seed.
Right, right.
Yeah,
No. No. Chad said something really great at one of our recordings. I think last month he said, instead of saying do this, do that, he said, have you considered and present some options?
that's right.
Have you considered is a very mature way to hand off or pass the baton. Have you considered?
I love
Because
that.
it causes their mind to realize that their maturity is respected. First of all, their maturity is respected. That they're not being patronized. It's funny all these negative words that come with fatherhood, patronize, and down with the patriarchy and all. Anyway, anyway,
Uh,
you're not patronizing them. You're inspiring them to take ownership.
yeah, yeah,
You're inspiring them to take ownership. That the decisions matter, and that I'm not going to make the decision for you, but these are the best options, and you know, do your best to choose from them as
yeah,
opposed to what you're hearing out there,
yeah, man.
or in here with those headbuds that they walking around with all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, no, brother. And Bishop, man, before we get out of here, brother, look, we're gonna speak about it here so that we can actually share it, start sharing it out.
Yes.
The father-daughter summit
Oh man,
is
let me see if I can share it.
the
Um,
father-daughter summit is going down, man. It's going
yes,
down October 3rd and 4th.
fourth. Yes,
It's not an event. This is an experience, a 2 day
yes,
experience. We're gonna share
yes.
some tools, tips, best practices. I'm quite sure there's going to be some tears shed.
Oh
There's going
yeah,
to be a safe space created so that fathers can hear from their daughters. And, I love it too, Bishop, because, in doing this in conjunction with Girls of Excellence, they're going to get their mentorship that day, but the continued support going forward. And then we get to connect with all our fathers and father figures, man, to stay connected with us.
yes,
And because we have things that will be ongoing, they will join us virtual, they'll join us in person. And I love, though, Bishop, that we've never been an organization to do one-offs. Like we're
right.
very intentional to build a relationship, to be there when you need us, to tap back in as your calendar becomes available. So I'm excited about that, brother. And I big up Joe and Toya for, and you brother, doing what y'all did, man, to get all the stuff, all the bells and whistles together, man.
Amen, amen, amen.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is just the logo of the Father Daughter Summit, and as we used to say, even back when we had our symposium, way back when in 2013, every princess needs a king, and we those 2 days we really want to hone in on the father daughter relationship. And we want to give a special shout out to our brother JC, Joe Coleman, who's heading this up, who's done 50 plus father daughter dances. He's also done Amazing Love Experience with our brother Colin over in Charlotte. He's done uh, father daughter dances in Detroit. And now we're bringing it to the ATL and then eventually in 2027 into NY. So we're looking forward to this father daughter summit. And we want to shout out our partners again, Girls of Excellence and the National Center for Fathering. for this father-daughter summit, which we expect to have an incredible time at
Yeah.
the Atlanta Metro College on October 3rd and 4th, 2026.
Yeah.
Mark your calendars.
That's
Save the
right.
date.
Mark your calendar. Save the date. We want to see you there. We want to see
Yes.
you there. But yo, Bishop, another fine time, man. Another great conversation with my brother, man.
Yeah.
And look, Bishop, here's what I love too, man. I love the fact that, brother, because we are growing,
Yeah.
as we say, we're growing at the speed of quality relationships. For us too, Bishop, the culture of further and fathering is essential.
Yes.
Who we are, what we do, how we
Yes.
show up, how
Yes.
we remain consistent, how we remain relevant.
Yes.
I love it. I love it, Bishop, because, you know, we see the growth.
Mhm.
We see the families that we're touching. We see the impact that the programs are having on the participants and how the testimonials are not just coming from them, but also from within leadership. And
Yes.
I think, brother, hats off, to you, man, to make sure though, Bishop, that part of how we formed and continue to grow, you know, we did it really sweatless because we honored each other. We
Yes.
honored the promise that God had given us early on. We honored
Yes.
the date of March 4th.
Yes.
Like we honored to make sure though, Bishop, that everything initially was overwhelming. But what we
Yes.
did though, Bishop, we put a lot of things on the shelf until the proper time to pull it back off.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that brother, but that's wisdom though, brother.
Yes.
So when
Yes.
you was expressing those things of legacy, it, you really was highlighting a lot of what we had done along the way. So I
Yes. Yes.
appreciate you for that, brother.
Love you to life. Love you to life. Couldn't do with anybody else really, because we were assigned together.
Yeah,
It was a brotherhood assignment. That's what fathering is. It's a brotherhood assignment, and these conversations indeed are a blessing. We said they will, but they are a blessing, and
they are. Yeah,
yeah,
they
they are a
are.
blessing. And we're going to keep these conversations going. We want you to check us out www.furtheringfathering.org. We also want you to remain connected, always connected.
That's
So,
right.
if you desire services, training, and just to be within the loop of what is going on,
Yeah,
go to alwaysconnected.info, always connected info. Hit the client button, fill out your information, and you will be served and blessed. And we, as my best friend here, is an enhancer. Your fatherhood, your family, and your community will be enhanced. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
come check us out.